Okay. Fingers crossed we got this running again. Hopefully no more technical difficulties, because that last one we had technical difficulties. Hopefully we are back up and running good now. I hope so, at least. Alright. As everything finally looks good. I will chalk that up to user error. That was definitely not the computer's fault on that one. It was me being a dummy. And now I got the hiccups. Because I decided to be a dummy. I didn't mean to be a dummy, but I was. Yeah. I did not fully understand what I was doing. Here we go. I think everything's set now, though. I think I am back to running good. At least I hope so. Excuse me. Let me delete that other one out because I don't need it anymore. We can delete forever. Alright, so in any case, coming up in about, 2 Saturdays maybe? What's up, Ton? I was having user error issues. It was my fault. I didn't set everything up before I went live, and then all of a sudden I was getting all these like alerts and stuff saying that I wasn't signed in. And that was my fault. Because I did not actually sign into YouTube before I did it, and I was trying to sign into YouTube somehow, also being live at the same time. That was my fault. I should have checked that beforehand. But anyways, I will not be doing any more Saturday live streams starting the very end of August. We'll be doing probably Thursdays. I will probably be doing live streams Thursday during the day. I will probably stop doing Nurses Making the News and start doing live streams on Thursday. Because the kids will be back in school and I can live stream between work and school. Because I have about a 2-hour window of them being out of school and me being out of work, and so I will be doing live streams then. So once the summer ends, as far as school goes, once the school summer ends, I will be doing live streams during the day during the week. So it won't be on Saturday nights anymore. After 2 more weeks, I guess. Let me double check what'll be my last Saturday live stream. Yeah, I guess the 27th, so I got 2 more. The 20th and the 27th. That'll be it. So that will end the live streams on Saturday. Or at least for the foreseeable future. Anyways, Ton. I saw that you had written something. I did not get to see what it said. How is schooling going, or post schooling going? How is everything going on that end? Um, because I know you were getting close to done if you weren't already done. Attended 3 interviews for the same job or for a different job. Not all successful. And by not all successful, do you mean all 3 were fails, or do you mean like 1 out of 3 was a fail? And now you are depressed about it. It does suck when you're out there trying to get jobs and they don't all go well. I don't know. I can't remember how many interviews I went on when I was doing that. You just got to keep on. All 3 fails. There's no need to get depressed at it. It'll come. It'll happen. It'll come around, and your job will find you. Or you'll find your job. However you want to say it. And it does. Yeah, and it's interview questions are awkward. Interview questions are always awkward. And I've been on both ends of the interview process, and they're just as awkward for the people doing it too. It's yeah. It's not fun. But yeah, it's questions on discharge procedures and admission procedures. Wow. I did not think they would ask those questions in an interview. And then they always say things like they want new grads to have a year of experience, but it's like, how do you get a year of experience when you've never, you just graduated? And they always want you like, oh, we want a year's worth of experience and things like that. And yeah, I don't understand how you're supposed to know those procedures either. Each place is different. Each policy is different per place. And yeah, I agree. Those are things they should teach you during orientation. That's not something you should learn in the interview. Are these like big time jobs, or are you trying out for like the cardiac cath lab, like right off the bat, or are you going like med surge? Med surge is probably always hurting for people. I don't know how it is in Canada, but here locally, med surge is always hurting for people, like constantly. And what you may need to do is something that I am almost certain that you don't want to do, and that's like go to a nursing home and get a little bit of experience, but continue to apply and continue to do the interviews and whatnot, and just gain experience from the interviews. Cause while I worked at that nursing home, I can't tell you how many interviews I went on. And yeah, they always say the hospitals are short-staffed. They constantly talk about how short-staffed they are. But then, and yeah, I'll agree, they are making it real hard in real life. I'm waiting to see what you say about some of your classmates. Oh no. Got me on the edge of my seat. What did the interviewer say? What is it? Groove says, I'm on pins and needles. I'll lean back. I forget. Does this chair lean back or not? I forget. Yeah, the work at the long-term care. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. Working at long-term care sucks. It sucks. No one wants to go to LTC. No one wants to go to long-term care. I mean, no one does. But the one thing that long-term care does is working at long-term cares will give you experience, and it will give you a good or a better resume, especially if you can say, like, hey, I worked at long-term care facility XYZ. It sucks. No one likes it. No one likes long-term care. I say no one. There are a few people who do actually enjoy long-term care. No one likes it. Another place, and I don't know your local area very well, but another place that is constantly hiring, and you've really got to know your math, is dialysis. If you could get on a dialysis unit, they pay phenomenal, but you work. Ooh, you work. You work hard. That might be another, possibility. And locally, the dialysis facility that I worked for was owned by our very large hospital system here. And what's up, Jerry? What's going on? Again, Jerry, all of your comments always get get blocked for some reason. I have no idea why. I don't know what you did, Jerry. How much does dialysis pay? So when I left my job that I am currently working at again now, I got $5 more an hour to go to dialysis. This was pre-COVID. So let's just, I don't know what the national average is right now. I knew it at one point in time, but let's just say the national average for pay is, let's just make up $30 an hour for a regular nurse on any unit, on any floor at any given time. Let's just say the national average is $30 an hour. Dialysis will pay you $34. I mean, they just pay that much more. They just do. There's just such a need for dialysis nurses. They even go on cruises and stuff. But that is a very hard job. So ton, as bad as it sucks, you may have to go get you some experience somewhere else on another unit. Which I know that's not what you want to do. That's not what anyone wanted us to do. It's not what I wanted to do for sure. But, I thought I was going to retire on med-surg unit. That's what I thought. I thought, when I graduate school, I thought, I'm gonna go to a med-surg unit, and I'm gonna work on a med-surg unit, and that's where I'm gonna retire. And that's not what happened. Nothing's wrong with a long-term care facility. It's just, man, it wasn't for me. I'll say that much right now. I don't think I've ever met anyone who was like, oh, I can't wait to go work at a nursing home. Like, oh yeah, nursing home. It's like the nurses that go to the nursing home, it's like they got in and, something happened and they got paid good, or, they had to have the insurance or something like that, and they just stuck it out. Oop. I don't know that I've ever met anybody who was just gung-ho about going to a long-term care facility. I just don't think I have. A lot of the long-term care facility nurses that I went to school with that went long-term care and are still long-term care were there as CNAs, and they knew the facility and they knew the practices and they knew the policies and procedures, and they just stuck it out and went right back to their long-term care as a nurse. Um, and yes, during the interview processes, they all say things like that, and they're all always hard on interviewees, the person trying to get the job, and it's terrible. I bombed one interview, like bombed it, and then heard back from them like 2 months later, and they were like, "Hey, we'll take you on right now," and it ended up being the diabetic unit that I went to work for. Actually, they're like, "Hey, we're in desperate need of night shift right now. Will you come on?" And I said, "Yes, I will." So it was like 2 months after I did my interview, and I bombed that interview. I still got on. Does long-term care pay well? It all depends. Long-term care tends to really rely hard on the overtime and the bonuses. Um, Long-term care, like the money that long-term care throws out is like the sign-on bonus and overtime. They pretty much pay like hourly. In my experience, they pay about normal or about average. But it's the $4,000 sign-on bonus, the $20,000 sign-on bonus. It's all that. That's where the long-term care will get you. And hospitals. I mean, you can get hired on by a hospital. It's not very hard. What is up, Zach? Man, how much experience do you typically need for them to let you work in the ICU? The ICU is sort of its own little animal. It's easier. The easiest way to get into ICU is to transfer in from another unit. Again, this is my experience. The easiest way is to get hired on like med surg or oncology or orthopedic or whatever it may be, and then do your however long your policy is at your facility, 6 months, 3 months, 90 days, whatever it is, and then transfer into the ICU. You can go straight to work for the ICU, but in my experience, it's been easier for nurses to get into the ICU transferring in from another unit. And it doesn't matter how much experience you have. You just have to complete sort of whatever your company's policy is, that whatever they say, like you can transfer in after 90 days or 6 months or whatever. So it's a little different per facility, but I've seen new grads get in the ICU. When 2010 or whatever, whenever the Affordable Care Act took place in 2010, I believe it was, I saw new grads getting in the ICU because they had that BSN, and other nurses had LPNs or ADNs, and so it just depends. And they asked you questions like, tell me the good feedback you give your coworker. Oh my gracious, I used to hate those questions. And then when you're interviewing, they'll ask you a question like, oh, you're having a disagreement with a coworker. How do you settle this? Or something like that. It's like, bro, I'm probably going to talk about them behind their back. And then whenever it comes to a head, we're going to have it out in the hallway or something. I don't know. I don't know. We'll figure it out when we get there. That's what. But interviews are always the worst. They're always terrible. Also, in the ICU, back to the ICU. if you go, we had the hospital that I did work for. I don't work at a hospital now, but the hospital that I did work for, we had like a cardiac ICU, neuro ICU. We did not have a pediatric ICU, but we did have a NICU, like a baby ICU. And then there's like the regular ICU. And I feel like it was, I don't remember if it was called the ortho ICU or something like that. It was for like breaks and falls, like a trauma ICU, but it wasn't. We weren't a trauma hospital, but it was like if you broke your femur, you went there. And I can't remember the name of that ICU. But there's a few different type of ICUs to work for or work at, especially if you get into the big hospitals. And then you gotta learn how to fake it during the interview processes. Yeah, they're lying to you and you're lying to them. Because let them tell you them hours is 6 to 6 or 7 to 7. You're right, bro. I ain't never done a 8-hour or 12-hour shift yet. When I went to long-term care, they told me that I was working 6 to 2. I'd get out of that place at like 4:30 on a good day. Excuse me. I'd get out of there like late as I'll get out. I'm like, oh yeah, it's just gonna be 6 to 2. Yeah, everybody gets to leave on time. When it's quitting time, everybody shows up. Right. I forgot to tell you, you got a chart. Oh yeah, don't forget to chart. Kind of math is in dialysis. A lot more math than what should have been where I worked at. So when the patient comes in dialysis, they weigh, and if your facility is like mine, if we're in America, they weigh in pounds. However, for whatever reason, because this company that I worked for was really, really dumb or got a really, really good deal on machines, we had Canadian machines. I'm not sure if you know that Canada goes by the metric system and America goes by the imperial system. Everything was set in kilograms. We had to do our math from pounds to kilograms. That was just stupid. That was unnecessary because the company bought machines that were metric. Still sour about that one. Once they're on the machine, you have a set amount of time that they can run. Let's just say it's 4 hours. You have to figure out how much weight in 4 hours that you can pull to equal your total weight. So let's say that they can pull, let's just say 10 pounds. No one can pull 10 pounds, but let's just say 10 pounds. So 10 pounds in 4 hours, so 2.5 pounds per hour. You got to figure out on the machine how much fluid that is. 454 cc's is a pound. So you figure out, how many cc's that is. You do your math. So what was that, 4,540 cc's? That's how much we're pulling. And we'll set our time for 4 hours, which would be in minutes. So what is that? 122, 40 minutes. And then once you set that, you also got to take in account for your flushes, your bags of fluid running. So bags of fluid are 10,000. And if you have scheduled flushes, which happen anywhere from about 15 to 30 minutes, so every 15 minutes they get a flush, or every 30 minutes they get a flush, or sometimes no one gets a flush. You got to take into account for all of that. And so you got to figure out how much weight you're putting into them in the flushes and how much weight you're supposed to be pulling out of them. So like 10 pounds. Also, if you're, doing multiple bags of flush, you got to take that into account as well. Did I get all my math set? And then, of course, you got to set the machine to run the amount of time. You also got to set the temperature. There's a temperature that you got to follow as well, that I can't remember how that goes. And there's a flow rate. The flow rate has to be whatever the filter, there's a big filter that the blood and the dialysate run through. You gotta figure out the flow rate on that filter, and how fast that machine can run. And then you got to figure out their bath, which is what runs through the filter, through the blood, or not through the blood. Blood runs through the center of the filter, and the dialysate runs on the outside of the filter. And you've got to figure out the flow rate of the two, and then you got to figure out the bath, which is what runs on the outside of it. So how many math things was that right there? 7, 8 math things per patient. And then you got to keep up their blood pressures as well. You got to keep track of their blood pressures, because if their blood pressures are too high, you got to do, XYZ. If it's too low, you got to slow the machine down, slow the dialysate down, give a flush, take into account for the flush, weigh it again. There's a lot that goes into it. So yeah, I hope I answered your question. And then if you're like the bay lead, which I was a bay lead, if you're a bay lead, you'll have like 3 techs. So your techs do all your math. The bay lead is supposed to go back and make sure all the math is correct, because you're the nurse. The bay lead is the nurse. And if something's off, you've got to correct it, and you got to kind of be on your game. Because you can, let's say I was pulling 4,500 on a patient that really only needed to lose 2 pounds. That's 10 pounds. That's 8 more pounds than they should have pulled. You gotta keep track of it too. So yes, there's a lot of math that goes into that. So I hope I answered your question on that one. Yes, there's a lot of math. End of your shift, your patient have SOB. What do you do? Tell the next nurse to check on the patient first. So you'll go home after giving a report. Your patient. Sorry, Tun. So if your patient is having shortness of breath, go ahead and call a rat call. Or whatever your code is that isn't like a full-blown code blue. You got to stay with that patient for a little bit. So yeah, if they're having shortness of breath, you're not going home. Unfortunately, you're staying for a while. And I know that that's not really like a new grad sort of thing. You probably don't know that as a new grad, but as someone who's done it several times, once you have shortness of breath, you're not going home. You're probably starting oxygen. You're probably calling doctor. You're probably calling respiratory. If not, getting the code card in there, depending upon the shortness of breath, or pulse ox, whatever it may be. Pulse ox is my best friend. That thing tells you so much information. It just goes on their finger. It tells you so much stuff. You're probably not going home. Vixen Hunt. Have been a CNA for many years, trying to figure out if I should go from my LVN from California. Got any advice? I've always worked in long-term care. Vixen, have you heard of the California, after 5 years you can do a lateral entry into the LVN. And it's only in California. Let me look up the official name of it. California LVN lateral entry. Let's see what it is actually called. COVID-19. I'm not worried about COVID-19. I can't think of what it's called right now. So in California, Vixen, I don't know if this applies to you, but in California, you can do a lateral transfer, lateral entry, from 5 years of CNA experience, as well as, I forget how many hours you have to have. I actually made a video on it. Maybe I said what the name of it is in my video. But you do 5 years of experience as a CNA plus several hours, and you can challenge the exam, which is awesome. So if that applies to you, that would be awesome for you. Also, you could go to school and become an LVN, which is always a good thing to do. And I can't find the video right now at this moment in time. Of course, I don't remember the name of it either. In any case, yes, California would be a great place to just do a lateral transfer. Let me see what the actual name of that is. Method 3. That is the name of it. Look up California Method 3 LVN lateral transfer. That would be a good that could be a good plan for you. If not, I would encourage going into school and doing your education and becoming an LVN in California. The thing about California is not a compact state. California is not a compact state. So if you want to go somewhere else, your California nursing license won't be recognized. So you'll have to do whatever that state needs you to do. But that's really no big deal. Yeah, definitely look into Method 3. California Method 3 LVN program. That would be best advice I got. Excuse me. If not, just go do the program. If you've been a CNA for many years, you probably know a good bit of stuff in order to become a nurse. So that's my advice. Man, I hate that they ton. I hate your interviews are going bad though, bud. I hate that happens. Do you know anyone? Do you have any friends from school that got a job on at a big hospital? That's how we sort of jumped on each other's backs, if you will. Once one of us at school got into a hospital system, then the rest of us sort of jumped on it. We all got in a hospital system. And then, did it from there. But man, I hate you dang interviews is going bad. Have you been to an urgent care? Do y'all have urgent care? Y'all may not have urgent care. Like a doctor's office. Have you tried a doctor's office yet? That might be alright. Those are pretty good, doctor's offices. I don't know that that's what you want to do, but it's always an option. Even though that would be absolutely no fun. But I hate you getting depressed about the thing, man. Now, working as a care aide it's not going to help your skill set, though. CVS is hiring in their minute clinics. CVS likes to hire nurse practitioners, too, in their minute clinics. Care aide and LVN or LPN is only $3 different. Wow. That's a lot harder of a job, too. Yeah. I don't know. That's... Hey, baby. You want the captain's seat?
Yeah, I'm gonna get my glasses first.
Okay. Here, I'll switch with you. None of your friends are on yet. There we go. Oh man.
What?
My cool light's not in the picture no more.
Well, you probably don't need to move it that much when I get back. When I get in the seat.
Well, I can't be seen.
We'll move it this way. Move
That's
your
what I'm gonna
seat
do.
this way.
No, I'm gonna move the light.
Here, come this way. I got a mosquito bite on my leg.
Ain't no good.
Now move that this way.
I don't think it's gonna help none. Do most facilities allow you to choose the color of your scrubs, or do you have to wear a certain color? Currently, I'm a CNA in training. Can only wear pewter. It all depends on the facility. The facility that I work for only requires that you wear scrubs. And then nursing homes typically only require that you wear scrubs. But like a hospital system, everybody's got a set color.
Mm-hmm.
So that they know like what their job is.
So they can go to that person and be like, I need you to do this.
Yeah. But it all depends on if you go to a hospital is going to be set colors. But nursing home probably not. A doctor's office will be set. Tun's not doing too good in his interviews. Not having a good time. Interviews are no fun.
No, they're not.
They're no fun for anybody.
No.
Luckily, when I finished my CNA course, our scrubs were red. And then my first job, the colors were red for CNA. So, that was good. Still have those scrubs. All those years ago.
You're going to move that one light.
Mm-hmm.
Grab me that blanket, that orange blanket when you do.
Are you cold?
I'm freezing.
Are you really?
It's cold in their room.
Yeah.
I see why they wake up so early. She'll probably be up here in a little bit. She ain't got body heat.
Nothing but the best on this live stream.
Your skinny butt in the back.
I'm changing lights around. I thought I'd moved them far apart, but apparently I put them really close. Oh well, I'm not changing it now. My skinny butt.
Yeah, you have no butt.
I have a fantastic booty.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. I thought that's the whole reason you married me.
You have no butt. You've never had a butt.
For my fantastic booty.
Whatever.
She married me for my body. I need you to go one way or the other.
This is how I'm going.
And I'm going right here. What is the reason of doing live streams? I got bored one day and just did them. There's no... I guess that's the reason. I got bored one Saturday night and just went live.
Well, you wanted to do kind of like how TikTok has lives that you can do, and you're like, I wonder how that'll go with me.
Yeah.
I like that light right there too.
Mm-hmm.
On the side, right there.
Yeah, I like that too. Yeah, I just went live streaming and then just did it. Everything was so cheap too. Well, at least at the time.
It's still pretty cheap.
I think it's still pretty cheap too.
I mean, we get our lights from like Five Below and stuff. We don't go like high dollar with them.
No. So like the camera was like, I think like $60. I've got 4 lights. I think they were each $5 a piece, so that's what, $20.
Now that one was more expensive.
Was it?
That one and that one were both more expensive.
No, I thought they were both 5. And then the software's free. So I don't know, it just seemed like something to do at the time. No, I didn't really have a reason to do it. I just went ahead and went live one day.
Pull this down a little bit because you can't see your mouth all the way.
Is that better?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you can click on that if you want to get rid of that graph in the background. Or do you like it being there?
I don't care.
Okay.
Just click this.
No, just click on the back. Nope. Yep, there you go.
Okay. You should.
You should do it.
We'd watch you. If you did it when we were awake.
Too lazy to edit a new video.
You don't edit it unless it needs to be edited.
Yeah, I do a lot of one takes.
Yeah.
But he does a lot of like cooking and like touring cities and stuff like that. Like I don't do any of that.
I mean, he could go live while he's like.
Oh yeah, you could definitely go live like while you're cooking.
That'd be, people would watch that.
Yeah.
Especially to see like if you were doing something that like was like continuous.
Mm-hmm.
In it, like not something that like took a while between, like something that you could like do this while this was cooking, or little pieces at a time.
Mm-hmm.
People would definitely watch that.
Yeah. And then like to change my like scenes on the live stream, I use the keyboard. I don't have like a stream deck or anything.
Mm-hmm.
It's all on the keyboard. Of course, I don't do it very often. I do it like whenever I Google something and want everybody to see. But it's all on the keyboard. All I use is Streamlabs. And then whenever I edit my videos, those are all done on iMovie. The free version of iMovie. But if you have like a good enough data plan, you could live stream an entire like city tour, as long as you got the battery life on your camera, on your phone. I definitely do not. My old iPhone 7
You got
has had it.
the portable battery packs now.
Yeah, you got portable battery packs now. You can do it. I mean, yes, it was easy. It really wasn't too expensive. Canadian internet data is slow. You should try North Carolina internet data. That's not the fastest.
Yep.
I bet California or New York or bigger cities, Atlanta maybe, they probably have quick internet. Vegas. What?
They only had 10 to play with today.
Oh.
Isn't that funny?
Mm-hmm. Let them be. Let them be.
That one downstairs would always been there.
Hold on, I missed a question. Do I have any tips on dealing with difficult patients? How difficult is your patient, and what are you doing with them? Oh, and then he asked another question, or they asked another question. Thank you. I'm glad that the content is helpful. But back to your previous question that I just now saw. What kind of difficulties are you having with your patients? Like sundowning and combative, or mouthy? Because they're all gonna be mouthy. Something like that. I mean, you gotta deal with each of them differently. You can't. It's not all the same. Not one patient's the same as the other. I like to tell our oldest that you need to learn to pick up on verbal cues. That's how I tell her, actually, because she has the worst at picking up on verbal cues. Learning how to not let them get difficult is the best way to deal with them that are difficult. Like, don't let them get difficult.
Don't let them get to that point.
Yeah, don't let them get to that point. Like sundown patients, there's no way because they just go from 0 to 100 in a hurry. And then patients that are liable to fight you, pick up on the verbal cues that they're about to fight you. Maybe step away for a moment. If they're upset at, like, if they're having a bad home life right now or something like that, and you don't know that, and they start talking aggressively about whoever is at home, maybe it's time for you to step out of that room for just a moment. Tell them, hey, I'll give you space. Or maybe they want you in there so that they can vent to you. You got to pick up on those verbal cues as to what it is that they're wanting to do. I am not the best to tell you what the verbal cues are, because I like to push buttons and escalate people, not on purpose, but I just tend to do it.
You do it on purpose too. He will do it on purpose too.
it happens. Like one that I know that I do very much often. I'm in substance abuse. That's the setting I work in. And they'll be like, "Oh, I'm irritated," and I'll say, "Oh, are you really irritated?" I can tell good and well that they are not feeling good and they're pretty upset. And then I will, sort of poke the bear, if you will. People don't like that too much. But yeah, you got to pick up on those verbal cues. Whew, about to drink my drink. As a future nurse, it touches me in my heart. I'm gonna be a future nurse. I don't like the fact that the lunchbox that light is propped upon is seen now in the background. You could care less, but
What? You can't see it.
you can.
Oh. Well, now you can't. It depends on what color. We'll go fix it.
That's because you turned your chair. See, now it's gone. See?
I was propping my foot up against that. That's why I turned that way.
We'll turn that way. I'll fix it.
No.
Nighttime time.
Nighttime done.
I hope that your interviews start going better. Oh, just close that out. I hope you have a good rest of your weekend. Do you want me to move that lunchbox so you can prop your feet up?
Fine.
Okay. And I have already said that we have 2 more Saturday live streams left. Because I'll be going live during the day, during the week.
Well, it might be some Saturday live streams. We just don't know what the schedule's going to look like.
I don't think it'll be very many. We get so tired after these.
Not just after these. We just have... Our oldest is going to be playing flag football and softball.
Mm-hmm.
I have volleyball starting.
We have a lot going on.
Fall season is very busy for us.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what I try to share. I'm out of the thing too.
Well, let's see if you're back in it now. Look, now you're back in.
Okay.
Don't you want to be back in the live stream?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, man. We're losing all our subscribers. Wait, I got on at like 9:45?
Mm-hmm.
That's not too bad. Well, let's give it to 11 unless we get a big discussion going. How about that?
Mm-hmm.
11?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we can do that. We will give it that long. Do you like that light on the side there?
Mm-hmm. It's definitely brighter.
It is.
Need one on this side too. So
Just like that?
Yeah, put
Yeah.
both of them on both there.
You're probably right.
Instead of this one, you need one on that.
Yeah.
You can get two on the top too.
I'd have to have somewhere to plug me in though.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You alright?
I'm tired.
Oh, doubt it. You worked all night. Except for when y'all went to go get snow cones. How was your snow cone?
Got back and we were slammed. The whole parking lot was full.
Really?
Yeah. It was good. I wish I didn't get the cream in it.
Did they all have the cream in them? Because I think the girls had the cream in them too.
They probably didn't have the cream in theirs.
Oh, okay.
Did they have the cream in theirs?
I feel like they did.
The snow cream?
I feel like they did. Sort of had like an aftertaste, kind of.
Was it like milkier?
Yeah.
There's a snow cream in there.
Yeah. It was definitely like a strange sort of taste. How'd I get into nursing as a career? When I was younger, I was a mechanic working for Chevrolet. And then the 2008 economic crisis happened. I don't know if you remember that or not. I don't know how old you were. Lost my job and had to figure out something because we needed to eat. And I went into nursing because that's what was hiring. True events, or am I missing stuff?
You had graduated from college too.
Yeah, but I mean,
with
like,
a degree in physical education.
Yeah, but I mean,
but
like,
you didn't want to do that.
I didn't want to do that.
You hated it.
I meant like work related stuff. Like that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, but I meant you do have a degree in physical education. Like you could get a job as a PE teacher, but
Probably not now.
nah, you probably have to take your whatever the.
But I was working on cars, and then the '08 economic crisis happened, and you got to feed people. Because in '08, everybody lost their jobs, except for the nurses. And so I went into nursing school.
Yep.
It was a job I knew I could do.
You were you got your CNA and immediately started working and going into your LPN. Like, we're doing your LPN while you were working.
Yeah, I just took the longest way around possible. Well, as a CNA with just the two of us,
for a little bit,
we could function. You know, we could eat with just the two of us as a CNA.
Yeah.
Rent was really cheap then. But when our oldest came around, then we were like, oh, we gotta start making more money so we can feed this child. So then I put it in high gear, and I graduated when she was about to turn 2.
Yeah. Yeah.
She was
right,
about,
almost.
she was about to turn 2, yeah, when I graduated school. So, cause she's little bitty in my graduation
that
picture.
She's really tiny.
Yeah, little bitty girl.
It says nobody's on, but
It does.
I think he's still on.
I think so too. But no, nursing was not my post high school career choice. I wanted to work on a race team. post high school, I wanted to be a motor builder. An engine builder, I should say. But that went away quickly. It was a sad day. If I had to do it again, I would go into nuke med.
You've said that
That's
multiple times.
That's $100,000 new grad job.
Going straight out, you would.
Yeah. But they only accept like 3 students a year in that program. I don't know that I would be one of the 3. Yeah, I don't know either.
You named it Mostly True Events.
Yeah, that's what I named it this evening.
Okay.
I'll be honest, I think if I'd have known more about medical fields, I probably wouldn't have chose nursing. Because I didn't know anything medical. I just knew nursing school. Radiology pays pretty good. I could have gone into radiology.
You've been bored in radiology.
Oh, I'm sure I would have been, but you know.
You would have been super bored.
Same
stuff every day. You would hate it.
Yeah. Make a video.
I'm tired.
Well, we'll be done in about 8 minutes. How about that? That be okay? Okay. The computer is starting to scream. Here. It's all wonky sounding. So, you remember I told you about that big time YouTuber commenting back on my thing to message him on the...
Yeah, you told me all that.
Whatever that was. Anyways, I freaked out because... I don't know why I freaked out. But I was like, oh, if they got him, maybe I'll get hacked into too. And so I changed my password.
Yeah.
Well, I signed on to do a live stream tonight.
You forgot your password.
No, I didn't forget my password. Somehow I was able to start the live stream and even go live. But when I went to like check this screen here and the YouTube, it was like, you must sign in before you can access this screen. And so it bogged it down so bad, it was like pixely. And so I had to end the stream, sign into everything, and then redo the live stream. So this is actually my second live stream tonight, because I didn't even think about it, because that was like what, Tuesday or Wednesday? I didn't even think about it.
Yeah, it was earlier this week.
Yeah. I didn't even think about it until just now. I was like, shoot. I got signed out. I got to sign back in and everything. So I signed in. Yes.
Sadly.
A disproportionate number of nurses quit. And they also went into, like, housing, like real estate. Or, something like that. Yes, they did. And yes, I did see it. We were getting, believe it or not, stay-on bonuses. We were getting thank you for continuing to work for us bonuses.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I'm supposed to talk about that, but we did.
Everywhere did. I mean, it's not like...
Yeah. So, yeah. I definitely saw it. Especially March of 2020 was when it really hit. And then, like, that summer... Mm-hmm. I think we were still shut down until, like, May or June, weren't we?
Mm-hmm.
So... like that entire time where we were shut down and people weren't working and the nurses were working, that's when we saw our biggest, like, everybody quit.
You were doing like telehealth stuff. You were still doing like over the computer. Like you were shut down, but it was over the computer and stuff.
No, we never shut down.
That's what I'm saying. When everything else was shut down, y'all were still doing like telehealth and like one person was in the office or whatever. Mm-hmm. It wasn't like...
Oh, I forgot about that. So what they did do, and I thought that this was stupid. They had a good... So the thought process is that they were going to take the nurses off the unit. And so half the nurses were going to be on the unit but do the same amount of work. And the other half of the nurses were going to be at home working, doing telehealth. You can't do telehealth. You just can't. Not in substance abuse, because I'm in substance abuse. You can't do it in substance abuse. And so what they would do is they had an A team and a B team, and try to get us to work from home. But we can't. It didn't work. We eventually all came back. And of course, all the nurses that were working twice as hard while you were in the unit were quitting while they were on the unit, and then the other nurses were, coming in later. It was a big mess. We had to get these IDs. They were huge. They were like an index card, and it was like it had your picture, and it said where you're going, your address, the address of the unit, and all these things. It was called your essential pass, mm-hmm. or something like that. Mm-hmm. I don't know where mine's at anymore. I've lost it. But you had to have your essential pass with you whenever you went out, just in case you got like pulled over or something, and they thought you were up to no good.
It's probably still in your car somewhere.
It probably is. Like, no, I'm an essential worker. This is my essential pass. And yes, not only did they quit, but we also had a hard time finding nurses. But as the pandemic has ended, I think it officially ended for us today in North Carolina. I think today was the last day of it.
They pulled the
Today was the end of all the funding and all that.
Well, and they pulled all the 6 feet and everything. Like, they lifted all that too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Why can't you do substance abuse via telehealth? Why does substance abuse that you work?
So I work in a facility. I physically see my patients every day. And it didn't work via telehealth because what they were trying to do is they were trying to talk to them through like what we're doing here, except two-way, like a Zoom call or whatever.
The Zooms, yeah.
Yeah, they were trying to. It's called Doxy, is what the actual
like a Zoom meeting, like but, they were.
and you can't, one, you can't get a hold of people. Two, you can't tell what people are actually saying to you. It could be, you could be getting interference on the line, things like that. You can't really read people's emotions. Um, AA was having a really hard time because they were running into the same thing. I don't work in AA, but sort of a
they go hand in hand.
hand in hand. And you couldn't do it. You just couldn't do it. We had to be in office. We had to have our patients in office or on unit. It just didn't work. It was a big mess. And the thought process was like, oh, well, the telehealth nurses will do like the paperwork side of the intake, whereas the nurses on the unit will do, the blood work, vitals, all of these things. And the
meds, all that stuff.
Yeah, the meds and all that. Good idea on paper. Good thought process. Thought process was keep half your nurse safe and healthy and the other half, on the unit in harm's way. But it just didn't work.
Sebastian.
And that's great that you ended up passing your NCLEX. Also, I really like your little thumbnail picture. It's a camera on a tripod.
Cool. That's awesome, Sebastian. Congrats.
But the telehealth and substance abuse just did not work. It was just not a good time for us. Thankfully, after like our third nurse quit, they were like, "All right, we're going back on the unit." And then we had to get tested all the time. But I would rather get tested all the time than split the unit up and do half at home, half and on the unit.
Just come in, strip down, and
yeah, I still do that. Before COVID, I used to wear my scrubs everywhere. I have not wore scrubs outside of work, other than like driving to and from home. I haven't worn them outside of there since 2020, I don't think.
Unless it's like somewhere real quick and then.
Mm-hmm.
And it's only here recently. It's not like.
Yeah, I just started doing that. I just started wearing them out. I'll give it a couple more minutes.
Okay, fine.
Ooh. Rehab facility, that would be tough with people in the facility. No, I don't. I do not do like your typical outpatient. I could definitely see telehealth for a psychiatrist. I could definitely see that working out pretty good. Typically, your people would want to be seen. My people don't want to be seen, I guess. But yeah, I am in a facility, I guess. I'm trying to think of our actual like technical name, because I always call it a unit, but it's not a unit either. Clinic.
Yeah, clinic. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Substance abuse clinic.
Yeah.
Yeah, we still got the Expedition. I don't think you're gonna get a lot of videos on the Expedition simply because it doesn't need anything and it's her daily driver. If something breaks on it, I will definitely do a video on it.
We just cleaned it out.
I mean, we just cleaned it out today. Actually, I cleaned the throttle body on it this morning, but I should have done a video on that.
It took like 2 seconds.
I know. I could have made it short.
Yeah, you'll mostly get videos of the truck now.
Yeah, my S10. Because I'm trying to get it back on the road. But, yeah, ours is a 03. It's a 2-valve, not the 3-valve. I purposely bought an 03 for that body style and for the 2-valve 5.4.
And it's got a DVD player in it.
And it's got a DVD player. Well, she wanted the DVD player, but I wanted the 5.4 2-valve or the 4.6 2-valve because we had a blue 2000 model with the 4.6 2-valve that I really liked, but it also had like 370,000 miles on it and died in the middle of a big city. And we had to send it to pull apart so that it would not get fined. Does my weird rear windshield wiper sprayer
No, it doesn't.
dump the fluid
On the rear step pad.
No.
Nope. It dumps it on the window when we spray it, but it doesn't dump it on the pad.
Yeah, no, it does not. I liked my first gen. The problem is they're getting so old and they got so many miles on them. You can't get a good one anymore.
Or the ones with less miles are way too expensive.
Yeah. I did like it, the blue one that we had.
Yeah, I mean it was good. Hence the reason we got another Expedition.
Yeah. The first gen Expedition, the 2000 that we had, the 4-wheel drive got stuck because it was an all-wheel drive model, and so I pulled the front drive shaft out of it, so it would quit being in 4-wheel drive all the time. It would pop and bang when you'd turn it, so I didn't feel like fighting with that transfer case. So I just pulled the drive shaft out of it. If we ever need a 4-wheel drive, I'd just put it back in there. But I did like it, yeah.
The Expedition's mine.
Yeah, the blue one I bought, but she drove, and then now the white one, she drives all the time. The 03.
That's mine.
She drives all the time.
And the reason why he seems good with mechanics is because we were saying up there to Zach Man.
I used to work on cars.
Yeah, he used to be a mechanic, so.
Corland truths.
And his dad was and is still a mechanic.
Mm-hmm.
So he's been around cars all his life. Working on cars all his life.
Trying to think where your sprayer sprays.
From the top.
It does spray from the top. I don't even know.
It sprays from the top because it puts it all on the windshield and it wipes it like that. It does. It comes from the top. I'm almost positive. Like, it could be wrong, but I'm pretty positive because it just dumps it on the thing. On the window.
Okay. I'll take your word for it. radiography is a big field to get into. If you finish it, there's a lot of competition in radiography. The thing about radiography is there's a lot more people trying to get in than there are jobs to be had in radiography, which is kind of opposite of what you want. Like nursing, there's a lot more jobs than there are people getting in. But yeah, it's very competitive. A very competitive field. I will be doing the valve cover gaskets on my 40-year-old S10 in a few weeks. So when the kids go back to school, check that one out. It's going to be a must watch. I know you're going to want to see it.
Probably see when it happens, on.
I always like, whenever I work on cars and then I go to work and like right before I put my gloves on to do something, I got these big greasy hands. I'm like, I wonder if anybody's ever going to say anything about that. Sometimes you can see it like through the gloves. You can see like the oil spots on my hands through the gloves.
It's because you never you'll wash your hands, but I have the stuff that gets it off. You have it here in the house. You just don't use it.
No, it's like my badge of honor. It's like, look, I worked on my truck. Here's my glove.
No, it's because you're in a nursing field and you say, look, I'm still a manly man and I got to work on cars.
Here's my greasy hands to prove it. I don't think they're too bad right now. I think right now they're okay. Look at my hands. What does he say here? Colorado.
S10.
No, it's still a S10. It's still sitting outside right now. Oh, not my S10. Yes, the S10 went away and it became the Colorado. And then the Expedition was the replacement of the O.J. Simpson Bronco. There was another Bronco called a Centuron, I think was the actual name of it.
The Expedition doesn't look as cool as the Broncos.
No, the Broncos look cool, but
that's what I'm saying. They don't look as cool as the Broncos.
Yeah, but check out, it's a Bronco Centuron. I think I'm saying that right. There's not very many of them, but it's a 4-door Bronco. Oh, do you want me to?
I figured you'd want to Google it.
Pull up Google. There you go. Ford Bronco Centuron. There it is. Yeah, hit the big screen. There it is.
That?
Any of them. The green one down there looks cool. That one's. I like that one.
Green.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
I'm sorry.
I don't know what you're doing.
I'm showing that.
I mean, that's cool. Like, how do you not think that's cool? That's a cool truck. All right, you can go back to the live stream.
Said he's familiar.
Yes, he's a truck guy.
He's a truck guy,
I'm
too.
familiar with it. There you go.
Do you always go for the green color trucks like he does? 'Cause that's what he usually goes for. Or if it's bright orange.
I love orange. I wish that body style of truck would have stayed around, that sort of square body. But Ram kind of messed it up when they went with that sort of Mack truck look. And then everybody else tried to copy that. And it was no fun. What you Googling over?
Nothing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we were both born in North Carolina, and we currently live in North Carolina.
We're about central North Carolina.
Mm-hmm. We're almost in the center of the state. I'd say the zoo is probably the center of the state.
Pretty close.
Yeah.
And we're not too far.
We're about 45 minutes from the zoo. The world's largest zoo. A lot of people from Pittsburgh. Yeah, I don't know why a lot of people move from Pennsylvania down here. Maybe cost of living. I don't know. But yeah, we got a lot of people from up north in general that move down here. Making the housing market go up. You know.
Yeah, we don't need that to go up no more.
We don't need the housing market to keep climbing. One of the guys I work with, he's from Boston. Talks about how much cheaper a house is down here than up there. Opioids started. Yeah, I mean, I don't think that the pay is any better. I just think that there's more jobs. There's a place that we watch at work all the time. It's called Kensington, Pennsylvania. We watch it a lot on like YouTube and stuff. It's a really bad place. Wow, I did not know that. Yeah, I think it's near Philadelphia. I think Kensington is near Philadelphia. But I did not know Pittsburgh got the lowest amount of sunshine hours in the United States, including Alaska. Alaska gets 24 hours of sunshine in the summer. Yeah, I can't remember what it's called. The guy from Boston that works with me, he's the one that shows it to me. He'll be like, look at this on the computer here. I'll walk over there and there'll be like a bunch of people in Kensington. There was one like just people out in the open, just like falling asleep, standing up and stuff. It was crazy. But I think we're gonna call it quits. What do you think?
I'm tired.
Yeah.
I gotta work in the morning.
I know. So we're gonna call it a night here. So we got 2 more Saturday night live streams, and then we're going to be done with Saturday night live streams after that.
Like constant Saturday night live streams.
But we're still going to do live streams, but it'll be a weekday during the day. So we'll be getting into that starting in 2 weeks. So 2 more Saturday live streams. And then live streams will continue, just not Saturday nights. So we will end it here. Thank you guys so much for joining us. I hope everyone has a good night, a good safe weekend. You are welcome. Thank you for the conversation.
Stood up on a date.
Oh, I hate to hear that.
That's sad.
I hate to hear you got stood up on a date, and then as you say that, we are going to sleep. So, sorry about that as well.
Hey, if you want to, there's a really good movie if you have Netflix.
What's the movie called?
It's called Hush. It's a very good movie.
You watched Hush?
We're going to watch it.
We're going to watch Hush?
Mm-hmm.
When are we watching Hush?
Probably right now.
Oh, okay. Well, apparently we're going to watch Hush. As I fall asleep, Hush is going to watch me.
You'll like it.
Because I'm going to be knocked out.
But it's a good movie, so you don't need a date to watch it. So
hopefully your date works out better next time. Probably be another date.
Yeah, it's called Hush. If you like thrillers and like suspenseful movies, you'll like it.
Like Michael Jackson thrillers? Not like that.
And this is what I deal with.
Anyways, good night, guys. We'll see y'all later. You can go ahead and end it.
Good night.
Night.